Cause I'm about that. Cause I'm about that. I'm about that come up, running up on them fools that are talking foolish. Try to get them funds up, killing them mics just like I ran and jewels in. Y'all gonna get done up front, knowing that kid with an attitude, but you can't really blame this motherfucker for what he had to do. I'm about that cash flipping, I'm getting it on and off the market. Not about that VIP, not me, not never been a fan of carpets. All about that RIP for all of my Jesus gone departed. All about that finish what I started, I'm about that.
Top down like you're not ready. We ride, cause we're about that. So high we see the whole city. We own the night. Down like you're not ready. We ride, cause we're about that. So high we see the whole city. We own the night.
Know that I'm about it. Want a man I can bring the drama, but it ain't by chance I'm fucking rapping. You don't really want a problem. Made a little cash in the back end, but still rapping, calling me starving. Yeah, y'all gotta ask who the man is. Hope I'm gonna be like, beg your pardon. Homie, I'm about that.
Top down like you're not ready. We ride, cause we're about that. So high we see the whole city. We own the night. Down like you're not ready. We ride, cause we're about that. So high we see the whole city. We own the night.
And welcome into another edition of the YSN Power Hour. And my name is DJ Yoakley, along with all of my good friends here. Anthony Hartwig doing a little bit of double time down in the bottom. Good to see Michael Jordan back, Quinn. Thanks for returning the great one to his spot. Appreciate it.
Spot in the back room where he belongs.
That is the G. Burbick Farm studio. You speak with the utmost respect when you talk about our studio.
Studio, yes. Michael's in the back corner hiding an electric
That's
car.
all right.
At least he's in the room.
At least he does his job.
What? Run the Hornets into the ground?
Win.
Yeah.
All he does is win. 6
Not even knowing.
undefeated.
He just bought a NASCAR team.
Yeah, he did.
Today, guys, as we celebrate National whatever day each and every day, it is National Checkers Day, and for this, we have to go over to our resident expert in checkers and chess, Paul Munson. Paul, how do you choose to celebrate National Checkers Day?
By moving pieces around on the board where I want them to go.
Is everything good with that?
Everything is good. This week, lockdown. Somebody screws up my game between now and Friday, I will murder them.
Is that a threat?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tempt me.
I'm pretty sure if somebody goes missing on this, Paul is going to be the first person interviewed.
I've been watching enough cold case files. I know how to get away with this. Don't worry. Have a good alibi.
Let's save the police some trouble. Paul did it.
Well, yeah, we know there's only two people with the letter that it could be because it's going to be spelled wrong. It's either you or Betos, so it should narrow that list down pretty tight to a South Korean graduate. Sorry, Anthony. All right, Quinn, National Checkers Day. What does it mean to you?
Nothing.
This is the best I could do, man. I'm sorry.
Nothing. It was pot pie day or something like that. That would have applied more to my life.
Yeah, it was National Pot Pie Day.
It is national. Do you have? I mean, is there a different pot pie? I only know
I
one.
know chicken pot pie, and I've eaten that more than I've played checkers. So
That does not surprise anybody. Billy, National Checkers Day. Are you a checkers guy?
No.
Jamie Thompson back in the saddle again. He's got the fan going behind him like the beanie. What do you got on National Checkers Day?
I don't know. I enjoy a good game of checkers whenever, used to be hanging out at school. Throw the board out there and get it done. Catch some
Checkers
dubs.
or chess? Which one do you like more?
Got to be checkers. I never learned how to play chess, so I only have one option.
Neither did I. Michael McKenzie.
Checkers. Used to play it. Man, I don't play it as often anymore because, frankly, quite frankly, I suck at checkers.
King me.
I would get like three. I'd get the first three kings, and then I'd somehow find a way to lose. I'm the Falcons of the checker world.
EB's comment.
That's fine. He'll be where was he supposed to go? Yeah, him, but he was supposed to go to Struthers. Trust me, I got plenty of people in Struthers that can take care of a body. Goodbye, EB. Good riddance.
Don't kill him.
Don't kill him. He'll disappear into a basement somewhere.
Ty, what do
Be a
you think
gift.
about
My
National
basement.
Checkers Day?
More of a chess guy, 100%.
Wow.
Always was playing chess growing up. I enjoy the strategy. It's more of a
Smart
thinking
man's
game.
game, Ty. Just say it. It's for the smart man.
I mean,
Are
I guess
you an actual
everyone else
chess
is
player,
playing
Paul?
checkers on this panel, and I'm playing chess. But yeah, I just enjoy chess a lot more.
I think Paul playing chess would be a lot like this. And then you see Big Bang Theory where he moves it to one and he goes, checkmate. That's it.
My dad was a good chess player, so he taught me how to play.
Okay, I have no idea. I've never tried to play. I just look at the little statues and I'm like, oh, horsey, cool. Anthony, your thoughts on National Checkers Day? We got
When I
nothing
think
better.
when I think of checkers, I think of a good meal at Cracker Barrel. That's the only time I played checkers. Is you go to Cracker Barrel, you sit in their little checker stand, and you play checkers. So when I think of checkers, I think of a good meal at Cracker Barrel. That's about it.
Interesting. All right. Here's it was a topic of discussion last night with a couple friends. And we've talked about it before on this show, and I want to kind of get your guys' take on this as I fight this cough. Excuse me.
COVID.
COVID. It has come to my attention that there might be an opening coming up of the crowds and essentially having more people come to games and to events and things of that nature as we creep in on week 5 here this week. I believe a lot of us on this panel said, man, wouldn't it be weird if as we get closer to playoffs that they opened up? Would this absolutely piss you off if this happened? Because now the schools are getting little to no money. I don't want to say no money because they're getting a little bit of a stipend, not what they need to get by, but they're getting a $1,600, something around that,
Yep.
to push through. In the grand scheme of things, with all the people that they need, including referees, to work a game, it's probably not a whole lot. So if you see more people at the game, obviously that means more ticket sales and things of that nature. Is this going to shake you a little bit? And is this to be expected from what we've seen so far with the powers that be down in Columbus? Quinn, we'll start with you.
I mean, I kind of saw it coming. I mean, it was one of those things like you knew something was going to happen, I guess, with OSHA coming out because, I mean, they want money. And I mean, it's from my standpoint, like I think it's stupid and bad for like schools. Like they're not helping out the schools the way they probably could, in all honesty. But I don't know. It's one of those things like I kind of foresaw it a long time ago coming. And yeah, like
Where did
Paul
you get all
saying,
that money?
They
That was
want
all
money.
from
God.
Doritos?
Gatorade.
I got props. I got props today. Show me the money.
He does have props. Not like Jamie Thompson props, but we'll get there soon enough, I'm sure. Billy Mack, you have been nothing but an absolute Boy Scout for the OHSAA so far. Why don't you take us to where your thoughts are?
Am I pissed? No. Why? Because I anticipated it. You know, I have always thought that the OSHA is a selfish organization, and this is, to my mind, it has proven me right. You know, why not open up the gates? Because the first thing they're thinking about is definitely not the kids. They don't care about the kids. They care about their pockets. And there's certain people that they had to release because they couldn't pay those people anymore. So you got to generate some revenue. I think it's in the grand scheme of things, I think it's a win-win though. I think it's a win for OSHA because they get to align their pockets up a little bit. And I think it's a win because, you know, aunts and uncles and grandmas get a chance to go to games. I mean, they don't care that the school's not getting any money. They just don't. Parents don't care that either. They just want to go see their kids play, period. So
Probably spot on with that. And that's, I think my one of my comments this morning, my post got misconstrued. I wasn't saying it from our standpoint, like feel bad for us. I was just saying it from the standpoint of, isn't the timing ironic on all of this that we go
Right.
through 5 to 6 weeks and all of a sudden we get to week 7 and we open up the gates. We open up the doors for seemingly everybody. Jamie Thompson with an interesting take on this, I'm sure. What is it going to look like from your standpoint if the gates all of a sudden open up in week 7 with everybody in the kitchen sink allowed through those turnstiles.
Yeah, I mean, really what Q and Max said just hit the nail right on the head right there. They said everything there was to say about it. No one's surprised, honestly, and it is good for the fans to be able to, come in and see it in person, let more people in, but it just really does suck. You could have tried to do this from the start, and then now that you're actually going to be reaping the rewards, you're just going to open up the floodgates and let all the people in. But, I mean, there's really not much to say about what those guys already said.
What's crazy is it's like they're not even worried about hiding what they're trying to do here. You know what I mean? Like you'd think week 4, maybe this week they would say, "Hey, we're going to increase it to 40%," or because right now that you're telling me that athletic directors and superintendents wouldn't love to rip off the tape off of some of those bleachers and add some extra revenue. That's what I'm worried about. That's my biggest concern is these schools who we have as an organization defended and trying to promote and to help through what we do are getting zero help and I guess less than zero help now from the OHSAA and it's frustrating to watch. McNuggies, talk about what you're seeing from your end, what you're hearing. I mean, your dad's in the mix of all of this. Don't necessarily have to give his opinion, but what how do you feel about all this and did you see this coming?
I think we all saw it coming. I think that it was obvious that OSHA, if they're going to open up the floodgates at all, of course they're going to do it week 7 because they're going to in the regular season they want to look good for DeWine, and then in the playoffs, this is the time to open up the floodgates. This is the time to let people in because it's playoff time, and these relatives, uncles, aunts, cousins, even some close family friends, they want to come in and they want to see these kids play football in meaningful football in playoff time now that everybody gets to make it. And you said it, DJ, that why not try to make it so obvious that you're going to do this just for the playoffs to make revenue? Maybe do it this week, maybe even next week and see how it goes. Week 6, get a 1-week trial and then see if that works. From my dad's perspective, I mean, I haven't even talked to him about it, but I have to imagine that he saw it coming and that we thought this was a possibility for a while. If they're going to open up the floodgates, of course, it's going to be week 7. But I think that he's just trying to prepare a football team right now because being the athletic director and the head football coach, obviously it isn't an easy job. Maybe if he was strictly athletic director and assistant principal, I think he would probably care a little more. But the fact of the matter is, I think he just wants to get a football team out there, try to win.
No, I can respect that. I also want to incorporate into this conversation that this is not official. We are just anticipating this happening. There's rumblings, and usually when there's something like this where there's smoke, there's fire. I also am interested, Paul, is I don't watch necessarily. Thanks, Beavis. I don't necessarily watch the DeWine meetings at 2:00 anymore. After our part was done with sports, probably should watch that a little bit more. But I'm not. I've from the people that I've talked to, the spikes are still happening. So if that's still occurring, what sense does it make to open the gates now other than if it's just for purely profit? Paul, go ahead.
It's amazing how you kind of stole a little bit of the thunder and led right into that because that's exactly what I was going to talk about is I would like to understand, or if this does happen, which, I mean, we all think it's going to happen, but my thing is DeWine has been talking about that they expect more spikes, that now that kids are back in school and that fall's coming and the flu season's right here. And this is all going to take place right in the big wheelhouse of the flu season. So how all of a sudden you're going to say, well, now that we've been at 1,500 or 15%, now we can say, well, guess what? It's going to be week 7 and these guys are tending to make some money out of this. So we're going to open the doors up a little bit more. Let's go to 40%. And it'll be okay, even though we're still worried about the spikes that are out there. I mean, that is where he's going to take some heat. I think he's off the hook right now to say, listen, we gave you guys 1,500 or 15%. You got to go to these games. You have other options to go. But if you don't, if he does say, hey, now we're going to open it up, I think he's just taken himself under a whole big slew of just people coming down on him going, wait a second. You still think that the spikes are out there, but you're going to let all these people in the stadiums now and sit close to each other. He's just going to get hammered. I mean, I could see it not going. I could see the state not getting it because they're going to have to petition him to say, please open this up a little bit more, because the state can't do that themselves, or the OHSA can't do that themselves. They have to rely on him and the Board of Health to say, we think it's okay to have larger crowds. I don't know if he's going to do that. I mean, I think I'm kind of 50-50 on this. I could see them still saying it's going to stay at the 15% or 1,500, but like we've talked about yesterday, instead of having 300 teams in the playoffs, you've now almost got 700 teams. So you're still going to get your money that you want, maybe not as much as you'd like, but you're still going to piss off all these schools too. Like you said, for 6 weeks, you ban them from having more than 1,500 or 15%. And now when you get a chance to make the money, you're going to say, well, we can open it up a little bit more now because we're getting all this money now, not you. And you could honestly at that time maybe even see some shady ADs out there saying, okay, we're going to let some of these people in on your tickets. We're going to charge them on our tickets and keep some of this money, and you're only going to get so many tickets. It happens out there. I mean, you smirk, but it does happen out there. So
why are you like the dirty laundry you just brought up in the last 30 seconds of that? It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm not saying anybody specific. I'm just saying some of these schools are losing money so bad that they might try to figure out another way to make some of that money back up.
Well,
I'm not saying
it's all about that paper.
Exactly. I'm not saying anybody specifically. I'm just saying that it happens. I mean, there's shady people out there all over the place. Some of them are in power
Some of them are right on this panel.
Yeah.
Colin chiming in, one of our favorite people, one of our aces, really, from K Squared Marketing in our sales team, a great member of our YSN team, saying, funny how everything else in the state had to open in phases, including businesses, but floodgates are open now because apparently COVID can't get you in the playoffs. It's true. I mean, it's crazy to think about how much money changes everything at the end of the day. Ty, you had a chance to take this one in. You've always got some good takes on the situation with OSHA and of course with things as they ride with COVID. What's your take on this?
And to agree with Paul too, I mean it's interesting because the whole situation for opening back up was, we wanted the cases to go down, and now that they're spiking again, I understand that schools are back in session and everything, but I thought that would be like a direct correlation as to why we shouldn't allow more people into these schools, and not to even mention like the 15% is hurting some of these schools more. I mean, like your Division 7 schools, they don't have a capacity of 10,000 kids or 10,000 seats. So, I mean, it's going to be far less than 1,500 that they're allowing into those stadiums. But I think what's interesting, especially, is that if this is something that happens and OSHA does open the floodgates and we see it, I don't know, up to 50, 60, 70%, whatever. I know basketball doesn't bring in as much revenue, but what can that mean for basketball season? Because then you got to figure these schools are going to be like, well, we're not going to operate with 15% allowing people in basketball season. That's a direct retaliation because that's leading right into basketball season about a month later. So you got to wonder like what these schools are going to think about, going with other sports seasons going forward, because they're going to have to try to make up more revenue somehow because they're already losing a big chunk of it football wise. But what is OSHA going to do, and how is that going to work? If you open up the floodgates for football, you almost have to allow more people in for basketball. You can't just cut it off at like 10-15%, right? Or you keep it at 10-15% and then they just open it up for basketball playoffs again, and then it's just clear cut that they're out for the money. But I mean,
interesting take, Ty, because I actually heard that the number being 50% for basketball this winter is 50% capacity. And the way they can get there is naturally to increase now. And like EB's saying, if it will happen, he just said if you could go to a political rally without a mask, how can you have thousands of people standing and cheering a candidate they will never know and not their own son and daughter? I mean, it's a great point. I mean, but also, I don't know if it was brought up here or prior to in kind of our production meeting, but you think about all the scenarios that are out there right now with kids and with, they don't necessarily wear the masks when they're supposed to, or the social distancing. I know I've seen, not at games, but I've seen the social distancing kind of creep back to, where it's supposed to. You go to the grocery store. I mean, there's still people with buggies to butts, at the grocery store. And I got to be honest, that's not 6 feet. My ass ain't 6 feet wide. I'll just put it out that way. So it's one of those scenarios, guys, where we're going to have to keep an eye on this, all of us, from a society standpoint. But if the rumblings are true and we're going to work our way up to 50% by winter, going from 15 to 50 is not going to happen overnight. So this would be the ideal time for them to do it. Anthony, before we get to you, I want to get to Nick's comment. I don't think he will let in more, saying what you guys have done has been a blessing. $9.99 is nothing. Plus some revenue going back to the school, grandparents, and some people would have never seen a game. You made it possible. Thank you. Nick, thank you, because we don't get a whole lot of that, so we appreciate you. So you're welcome on this show anytime, Nick. Appreciate everything that you've done. He's been very supportive behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's like the second or third time he's made that comment to us that he's very grateful of it. So that's awesome to see.
And it means so much, because if people could be around on a Friday night, it's a war room in here. And Mike Ackelson and Nick do a great job inside the war room. Anthony's in there as well. So and here we get people chiming. Colin coming back. Thank you, Colin, for that. She's out there doing the best she can for us. So Anthony, when you look at all of this considered, does it even matter anymore, from your opinion, that they're going to open the gates or possibly open the gates to more people? Does it bother you? Does it frustrate you?
I think the most frustrating thing about everything with this whole COVID thing is, we brought up with EB's comment, there's been no consistency in regulations. I mean, you can do one thing for one different thing, and then you can't do it for another thing that's the same thing. The consistency isn't there, and that's, I think, the biggest frustration with everything we've gone through, is that you're saying it's okay to go to a political rally without a mask, but you can't go to a football game. It doesn't make any sense. And to the playoffs and bringing more people in, the 15% is working from a COVID sense. I mean, we haven't had, at least in our YSN coverage, we haven't had any slip-ups, any stoppage of play, knock on wood.
There it is.
Thank you.
All right.
Let them all in. Let everybody in.
Is Britt
Sick of it.
Somebody with this?
So Britt, for those that don't know Britt, Britt is a longtime member of YSN. Britt took a little bit of heat from some Hubbard fans, James. We talked about it, and Britt just reminded people that they can follow the broadcast over to Girard versus Jefferson this week if you're not going to tune in. So he does a great job for us, and he loves these one-liners, and I got to give it up to him. He's not afraid to put himself out there. Just like, listen, we do Hubbard games obviously all the time, and people get on Jamie and Anthony Romo constantly about being homers. It is in our description. We are homers. If you go to who we are, that is who we are. We are homers for the teams we represent. So if you're looking for non-biased, you're looking in the wrong spot.
Listen, you had to deal with stupid Joe Buck. You can figure this out.
Exactly what he said.
Agreed.
Ty, your dad chiming in saying you must wear a hazmat suit for sale at the gate for $100. If that was the case,
Wrenches, I bought mine 3 years ago.
I would pass. Like if it was $100 to go into a high school football game, and you had, I think there's parts of me that said that if we weren't doing what we were doing, I probably wouldn't go to the game.
That's like Disney World forbidding ponchos to be worn inside, but so you have to buy their ponchos for like $70 in their gift shop.
It never rains in Disney World.
No, never.
That's what I was told. EB chiming in again. According to Paul, I'll be in the basement in Struthers somewhere. I hope those people have good Wi-Fi so I can get to
my basement has my basement has some decent locks in it. I can keep him down here and give him some good Wi-Fi too. Win-win.
There we go.
Did you just say you're going to lock Eric Bailey in your basement?
He did.
I have good locks in my basement if Paul wants to make a deal.
And he said his dad just fully stocked the bar too. So.
Well, so now we know that Paul and Mike are going to jail. Mike will get out. Paul will be in there forever. So
yeah, Mike will be.
Yeah, I'll just get probation.
Yeah. But I do know one thing about, we're talking about the 6 feet. I know that they have kind of altered that a little bit, and it's now
3 feet.
Yeah, it's 3 feet head to head.
What?
That's what they're saying now.
Yeah, I mean that's what they've been saying in our schools. Like if you're allowed to, they're saying like when you're collabing on projects or stuff, at least to Beaver Local, like try to observe 3-foot social distancing.
Yeah.
What?
And
That's what at least they're saying it
I'm
out
not
at
saying
Beaver
no,
Local.
I'm not saying about Beaver Local, but like, listen, we've listened to the science. The science says 6 feet will keep you safe. Now they're gonna shrink it down to 3 feet.
They're saying as long as you wear your mask, and if you so choose, you can wear one of those shields. But it's 3 feet head to head. We go back to school full time next Thursday. All kids are coming back to school here at South Range next Thursday. Full go on October 1st.
No digital.
No, well, kids can still do digital because they have to do that for the whole 9 weeks. If you chose to go and do it remotely, it was for an entire 9 weeks. You can't all of a sudden come back. But all the other kids who it's been every other day for school for them, full go October 1st, and it's 3 feet head to head.
Let them in. Take the mask off. Let's go.
School. You have the option. If not, you're there 5 days a week.
I just don't understand how you can change it. That's my thing. If you
especially in the middle of the 9 weeks.
This is a Band-Aid, right? This is 6 feet is a Band-Aid. The masks are a Band-Aid. If it's either on or it's off. Like this isn't like let's shrink it down to 3 feet. No, it's 6 feet or nothing in my book. It's that's how it goes. You can't, because otherwise it should have been 3 feet to begin with. Because if we're not safe
with a mask,
with a mask, if we're not safe there, if we're not safe at 6 feet, then we're sure as hell not safe at 3 feet. And reality is this is turning into bogus city USA. It really is. Because nobody knows what to believe anymore. We're making shit up as we go.
Again, we've talked about the numbers where, the flu still kills more people a year than this thing has. This thing's killed 200,000 people. And I'm not saying that's a light number. But go back and look at all these other numbers of different flus and all these other things that have killed people over the years. And they didn't shut the entire country down.
There's no such thing as just
stuff.
being sick anymore, Paul. There's nothing, because
that's the thing.
I say this to you, and not in jest. This is a complete realistic thing that happened. Obviously, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. I coughed in my arm at a volleyball game, and I had a person say, "You're sick. You shouldn't be here."
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be like, I had a mask on. I had all this stuff. That's the thing. You can't just be sick anymore. You can't. Everything's COVID. Everything is. Listen.
Here, I got some wipes and some hand sanitizer.
Drink it.
We're
Drink it.
ready to go. Let's get this done.
Drink it. I just don't. And again, we listen to science. We listen to these people. Yeah, the hand sanitizer.
This is all you need.
We've got the hand sanitizer here. We're probably getting sick from the hand sanitizer. To be honest with you, so many chemicals in that.
This is all you need. Mental toughness.
Never get unscented hand sanitizer.
Paul, you may never see anybody say this ever again. So I want you to screenshot this. I agree with Paul.
Yeah, Britt and I have talked individually about this stuff. That it's just ridiculous. I mean, he's in the medical field and he sees it.
He's a resident expert.
The bad thing is like I was talking to my buddy last night about this stuff. Is these people who are dying most likely have some kind of underlying other health issue that
like
is
a motorcycle
causing,
accident.
Yeah, that are well, that's the other thing. They've said that California came out and said that a month ago. If you got hit by a bus and you died, and if they test you while you're dead and you have COVID, they're going to say that's a COVID death.
Well, they treat everybody as a COVID victim that hasn't been tested for COVID.
Yeah, it's just like
garbage.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, I was reading an article. It was last week or the week before about a football player from Pennsylvania, a college football player, 20 years old, died. It was a big article like, oh, COVID kills this college football player. Okay, well, yeah, they're trying to scare people. When you look at the kid was like 6'4", 365 pounds. He was borderline diabetic. He had other health issues.
And you want to know what else, too? That school didn't even play. They canceled their season.
Yeah. So. I mean, so it's like they're trying to scare people. Like, look, it's even killing college football players. Well, not when the kid probably was ready to lose a foot in the next year or two. I mean, it blows me away that people are freaking out about this stuff. You're going to get sick. There you go, Mike. Wash your hands. Normal
Mike,
stuff. Cover your face.
Called hand sanitizer. And they say it's unscented, but it actually has the worst hand sanitizer scent ever.
I don't know where to go with that.
Just saying.
I don't know where to go. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break and pay some bills. When we come back, we will talk about our fantasy league that we have going on. Some of us not doing so good. Others doing pretty good. So
Mediocre.
we will, mediocre at best. We will go over the standings, what has gone right, what has gone wrong, and maybe some fantasy analysis from our resident expert, McNuggies, right in the middle of the Brady Bunch square. We'll take a break, be back right after this on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by these sponsors and proud sponsors at that.
21
Good evening,
News.
and thank you for joining us.
Let's get right to our top
More
story experienced tonight. Reporters. A new Wilmington restaurant
GM Lordstown.
telling more local stories. We'll look at
Baby boy is recovering from a broken
around our
Good
valley.
Community in Niles. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect
Important for everyone. No place like home.
more local news.
In Mercer County
Before
Court.
they become life-threatening. 21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. Guys, there's been a murder in Savannah, and it is very intriguing. If you're an Office fan, you know what that is from. And I got to be honest, when I look at my team on fantasy football that we drafted right here on the YSN Power Hour.
I'm the only one that drafted that wasn't actually on the show.
They stink. My team is awful.
Just like the Yankees.
That too. And I got to be honest, none of us are really lighting the world on fire except for Ty. And this is unprecedented. We have the number 2 in the YSN Fantasy Football Power Rankings is Scotty Minchard.
Yeah.
Lighting the world on fire. And then we got EB sitting at number 3. And Paul, you're at number 4. We got Quinn at number 5. McNuggies is number 6, although I think that's going to drop here soon with his star running back out for the season.
Dude, Barkley did nothing for me this year.
Jeff Bezos is at 7. Then we have Country Roads Take Mahomes, which is Anthony, at 8. Max at 9. I'm guessing that's Tristan. At
Tristan,
10.
yeah, it's Tristan.
Tell your moms about me. The Bezos Bay Buccaneers, that's me. We are at 11. And Jamie?
Bringing up the basement.
The question is,
197.
when do I play JB? Or wait, I don't care.
Jamie or JB?
Jamie. That's actually in a few weeks here, so it's fun.
But if you look for points for
timeout, we have breaking news.
I just saw that
from
Bailey
EB.
sent that.
Dana Balish reporting on Twitter that there will be no champion Brookfield game on Friday because of positive COVID tests. So we will. Yeah, we're partnered up with Anthony. Thanks a lot for that.
Come on, are you kidding me, Anthony?
That's on. Listen, listen?
Not quick
Just
enough.
go ahead.
Fake wood that you knocked on.
Go ahead and apologize.
Fake wood. I'm sorry to everyone in Champion and Brookfield. I know that was a big game because if Champion wins that game, they're lined up for a chance at that MVAC championship. So I apologize to everyone in Golden Flash Nation and everyone in Brookfield. That's on me.
There it is.
Boo.
Who was going to announce that, Paul?
What?
Brookfield. Oh no, Champion was giving us their feed.
They were giving us the stream.
Okay, so there's one off the board. So
Well,
again, a little.
not that I don't trust Dana, but I'm going to send AD a message right now.
Okay, well, so we're on.
That's a
we're
great
working on-
idea, Paul.
That is
Gotta
a super
confirm.
idea. Let's go to make sure. Not that I don't trust Eric Bailey because he's one of the people I trust most in this world. Yeah, Dana saying 4 minutes ago, Champion Brookfield football game has been canceled for 2 positive COVID cases. Game is being rescheduled for October 23rd. Paul, you got that?
Opening day of the Buckeyes.
Nobody cares, McNuggies. Nobody
care.
cares.
Yeah, we got 2 people to care.
I will. You can go watch all the Buckeyes games you want. I'm gonna go do this Champion Brookfield game if I have to. Like that's. I care about high school.
I'll watch it.
For $9.99.
Why not?
All right, buddy. See, we're on
All right,
board.
back to our fantasy football.
Yeah.
Do we
I'm
have to?
in points 4. I'm leading on that though. I have scored the most points.
Wait a minute. Time out. Points 4?
Yeah, I scored 180 in week 1
Yeah, you killed me.
against
Yeah, you
McNuggies,
did.
and I just scored 130 and still lost to EB. He scored 150 some.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
That's why Paul is at 1-1, sitting at the 4th.
Fantasy football is overrated. I'm
Man,
just
I'm-
throwing it out there.
I mean, poor Jamie scored 198, but he's been scored on 242 times.
Yeah, Vikings defense had -9 points week 1, so that's
I know.
-9?
Yeah, defense scores negative points.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
because
in
Aaron
all
Rodgers
fairness,
had 100 points on him.
Jamie's
so.
got 4 kickers on his roster, so it doesn't really. Just kidding, James. Just
How
busting
about
your chops
Scotty
a little
though?
bit.
Scotty's number 2 overall, right? Yeah.
Scotty's
only
not messing around.
He scored 238 points. He's allowed 222. So he's just barely scored more points than
I lost to him by 8 this week. So
We'll see what he can do. His flex is now on IR, but he could have Galladay coming back.
I'm just gonna put this out there that anybody on my roster is available for a real deal dollar cost. So if you think that you've got the dollars to get Pat Mahomes, bring it on.
Nah, I'll take DK Metcalf.
Okay, come get him.
All right, I will.
How much is
He's
my
about to look in his wallet, find a crispy 20 to give you for
$38 for DK Metcalf.
30.
Anthony, guess how much Pat Mahomes is for
I'd
you?
have to pay more. I know. Inflation.
And because your team name is Pat Mahomes in it, so
Right.
you pay.
Yeah, I'll give you a case of Mountain Dew, DJ.
4?
Any of those guys.
Whoa! That's not how this works.
Kyle Rudolph?
Kyle Rudolph is a easy 12.
Dude hasn't even scored 12 points all year.
Side note, didn't know he was on my roster. I know about 3 guys on my team. That's how much I care. Yeah, I mean, listen, we have to give it up where credit is due. Ty Bartell, what's the secret to fantasy football?
It's early. Can we just say that too?
Yeah.
Depends on where you're at, Mac. Where are you at?
the
You're
bottom.
1-1.
Max 1-1,
0-2, 0-2.
but he is second to last because of points.
Tristan is he?
I play defense, baby.
Where the hell's Tristan been? Tristan shows up on Friday
play
nights
defense.
sending me messages and telling me that he's going to fight and all this stuff. And then he disappears the other 6 days of the week
Or he's got to go train.
with the trash bag.
Yeah.
Oh, this is game over, Paulie. Winner
By
gets
the
all
way,
of Paul's
Paul,
zebra cakes.
Or not Paul. Billy Mack, your defense scored -1 last week.
No, I didn't say that. Like, My defense scores me points. Like my team plays defense.
Ty's dad called him out. Says he cheats.
Yeah, whatever.
Let me ask you. I got
We'll,
two
we'll
questions.
take, we'll
for you,
take a
Ty.
look at Ty Bartel's team right here.
There really isn't a strategy. I think with fantasy football, it's just about where you draft. Where you draft has a huge implication if there's any injuries. Right. Every fantasy league I'm ever in, I usually draft running backs and then I go for tight ends because there's only like 3 or 4 premier tight ends that are ever in the league. And if you can get a tight end that's scoring you 15, 16 points.
Ty does too. Ty's got 3 tight ends on his team.
Ty's got Travis Kelce as his tight end. And what takes the cake is the fact that he probably didn't draft his QB till like round 15.
I didn't. And that's another key. If you could draft a sleeper QB like Cam Newton in like a later round.
Here's a little question to tie it back to local.
3 tight ends.
If you have
most teams have 1.
Well, this ought to be an
Trademark
interesting answer from Ty then. If you have the top pick in the draft for, let's say we were allowed to play fantasy football with high school, who would you take and why? Go ahead, Ty. What tight end would you take?
High school is a very, very different than college and NFL standards, though. High school a tight end is usually utilized in blocking schemes a lot more, and they're really not used in a lot of passing offenses like they are in the NFL. For a high school game, it's more about quarterbacks and running backs a lot that would probably score a lot of fantasy points high school wise. Because tight ends, I can't even think of like one tight end in the area that's like blowing it up numbers wise. Because there's plenty of tight ends that are good in like blocking schemes and that really help bolster that offensive line for the running backs. Because you also have a lot of mobile quarterbacks, but yeah, tight ends aren't really utilized the same way in high school.
EB is going to get Melvin Gordon because he's giving up a new sponsor and a case of Mountain Dew. So Melvin Gordon is off the board. So there you go. There you have it.
Thank God.
See you guys later. Is there anybody out there like you get the first pick in the draft here locally? Who would you take?
Any player?
Any player you want.
Oh,
as long as they're YSN school. If I got to hear about Garfield or Mogador on this show, then I'm going to leave.
It's got it. Oh man, there's a lot of offensive schemes that I've seen too. A lot of offensive players, running backs that I've seen. Warren Harding used 2 new running backs this week that were really good. I gotta say though, I mean, not to even try to be a homer, but I mean, I've just seen him a lot. It's just Devin Sherwood right now. If I'm doing a quarterback, the fact that the guy has 8 touchdowns, no interceptions, through 4 games, just someone that takes care of the ball, quarterback wise, can break out of the pocket, run a little bit, and has the kind of arm that he does. I mean, if I could get TJ Parker as the coach behind Devin Sherwood too, I would definitely take that.
TJ would play some tight end for you, I'm sure. Anthony Hartwig, who would be your first draft pick in the local fantasy football draft?
I would go running back, and there are a lot of solid ones on the YSN network, but I'm just going to be a prisoner of the moment because he had such a good week 4. I'm going to go TC Caffey from Hubbard.
Wow, and there's the flex from Jamie Thompson. I like that. Muncie, who do you got in your first pick?
I know I'm probably going to shock the world when I say this.
Which South Range can I pick?
Because and I'll make sure my door's locked and nobody can get in here when I say this. But
this is real.
Seeing him the couple times I have seen him and seeing what he can do, if I had to take somebody,
I know where it's going.
We all know where it's going.
Yeah, it'd be Bo Brungard. I mean,
whoa! I didn't see that going.
Yeah,
rival.
I've known his dad for a long time. I mean, and it's a great family. He is a good kid, and he's got a lot of talent. But I mean, just because he can tuck it and run with the best of them, and I've seen it firsthand a couple times. Not only when they played us last year, but when they played in that playoff game, it was here. I mean, he stayed back there long enough, and then he made it with his legs. So I think that he's a super talented kid. So yeah. Yeah, shock everybody there on.
You did shock me. I thought you were going Aiden Hall.
It actually kind of hurt a little bit, but
I go with the Mingas.
Second choice. That was my second. I was torn between those two.
All right, McNuggies, who you got in your first fantasy pick?
I think I'm gonna have to go. I can't remember his name for the life of me. The Latonia running back.
Oh, Marco
Ferry.
Marco Ferry. I'm gonna take Marco Ferry.
Okay. That's another great pick. They're playing East Palestine in the showcase at YSU on Saturday. So that you might hear that name a lot Saturday night. Jamie Thompson, I gotta believe I know where you're going, but you could shock the world like Paul did.
No, not going to be a Paul here. Got to go with TC Caffey. I mean, it's hard to not take a Hubbard running back, even if we're playing really well or not playing really well. It's just our scheme. We give it to the running back. TC has 71 carries, 631 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That's 99 total points, 24.75 points per game. And he only played the first half against Jefferson and the first half against Lakeview.
Wow. Big numbers. Big numbers. Mac, who you taking?
Yeah, but Gauntlet's coming for him in the next 2 games, so we'll see how he does then.
He'll go right through it.
There's so many good ones to pick from. That's what's pretty awesome about this. But I think I'd have to take a mobile quarterback who could throw it. I think I'm taking Hall from Struthers.
Aiden Hall?
Yep.
Okay.
That's a respectable pick. Quinn?
Brutus Ogilvy.
Oh! I like it.
Passed for 9 million yards this year.
So, and this is going to bother me because I almost said something to Mike, but I cannot remember the quarterback's name from West Branch for the life of me right now. I wrote a story about him.
Brock Hillier, I think.
Hillier, yes. That kid, you want to talk about under the radar. He is an absolute stud. Didn't play because of injury, I believe, last week. So it'll be interesting to see if he's on the field this week. But the kid's putting up unbelievable. He had like 10 touchdowns in 2 games, something along those lines. So if all those guys are off the board and I've got to pick, that's where I'm going. I'm going with Hillier from West Branch. So thought that would be interesting to kind of spin it off. Obviously, it's completely illegal to do that, fantasy football for high school. But we can always talk about it. There's no money on the line, and it builds a little bit of intrigue. What local defense? That's a good question. Let's go local defense.
Southern.
Oh,
take Southern?
Yep.
What about Southern has you over the moon about that? That was quick answer.
They're just play as one unit, man. They play fundamental sound, rally to the ball. They play fundamental defense. I mean, Kennedy too. Kennedy's great too. But after watching Southern a couple times, those are the only 2 to pick from.
Quinn, you're on the Southern train?
Yes, 100%.
Let's go to Jamie.
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I looked at Youngstown East a little bit. They lost 7-0 against Mooney, was it? Then they got destroyed against Ursuline. So honestly, I wouldn't know where to go. But I just put up some pretty good performances on defense. I don't want to be a homer, but I'm lost.
Nick is saying Poland. That's another good choice. Mike, who do you have?
Is there any room left on that Southern train for me?
Yeah, man. Choo choo.
No.
Choo choo, baby.
Get out.
No, there's not.
No.
Grab our bags.
None.
There's no room, Quinn. There's no room,
have a
Quinn.
uniform going on right now. It's red
No,
shirts.
I'm too fat. No room.
All right, that's fine. I'll be a homer like Jamie. I'll go with the Beavers.
All right. We go to Munson. Who you got for a defense?
Yeah, they've let some points go across the board that they probably shouldn't have in some games. So, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's really playing lights out defense. Everybody's letting some scores go by. So,
Southern, you can jump on the bus.
Sure. Thanks, Billy. I'll hop on the board with those guys. I caught the train before it left the station.
No room.
Listen, hey, this is going to be interesting because I'm going to write you down because if you pick United on Friday.
I don't know who I'm picking in that game. That's tough.
United, Ogilvy's going to pass for another 7 yards.
It's going to be the unstoppable force.
Yeah, as of right now, Southern's played great D, but this is their huge test for them.
Ty Bartell's about to steal my thunder. I got a feeling.
I'm sorry. I have to say, out of all the teams that I've been watching and paying attention to, Massillon Washington has one of the better defenses that I've seen.
Bye, Ty.
Get out.
Bye, Ty. Have a good day, Ty.
Also, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a close second, right?
34 points they've allowed over 4 games. They shut out Warren Harding, allowing only 9 passing yards that whole game. I don't know, man. It's a pretty stacked defense over Massillon Washington. And they usually
Ty knows something we
Hey,
don't.
Ty, if you have an in with them, I think there's definitely another brick.
Your dad asked the question. What local defense?
How many points did you say they gave up?
What?
Didn't this question spawn off from your dad going, what local defense would you pick? And you
Is
pick
that from Washington not considered local? I think they play.
no, they're like an hour and a half away.
You want to turn that camera around, Anthony, on that wall to see if there's Massillon, Washington
I'm
quite
not-
yet?
I'm
We'll get there.
looking and I'm not seeing them.
We'll get there. I must have forgot that one. Ty,
that's
we're
like
just busting your
You know
chops.
what? You can get confused because there's a couple of tigers on the wall. That's where the confusion comes.
I'm petitioning for them over here. You know, if I talk good about them enough, you know.
We see you, Jocelyn. Now look at you, salesman. We appreciate you.
They gave up 34
points they give
over
up, you
4
said?
games.
Oh, here.
Akron
Look what
Hogan's
you
giving up
did.
24.
Look what you did.
Pick them, you. I'm sorry I didn't go on the Southern train. I did something different.
Hey, I took a YSN school.
Well,
Hey, DJ got to look. Are they on there?
But
well, we're gonna go ahead and go with what's your beef today.
And shut out.
Welcome to the G-Bird Farms. What's your beef? We'll start with DJ Yoakley today.
Yeah, that way. You both are banned. You are a slob. You are a scumbag.
But you had to keep it
You are
going.
a
You pulled a
scumbag.
McNuggies and you had to keep it going, Quinn. I know how to do it. I do it all the time. I created
you,
that.
Quinn. I hate you.
Welcome to the Hated by DJ Yoakley Club, Quinn.
You know why? Here's the thing. Quinn doesn't have a girlfriend because he's freaking married to Akron Hoban. Like, it is like, if it were a chick, you would make out with it. Like, you would brag about it. Like, you would go to the park and take selfies with it. Like, just go to Akron. Like, take your, just me and Akron Hoban hanging out. Like,
No, you know what he needs to do? Quinn, go get him to be a YSN school. Then we'll be okay.
he would walk in that building and never come home. He would just be like, "Oh my gosh, it's Akron Hoban! Oh my god!" Come on, Quinn. Like, I want him as much as the next guy, but goodness gracious, like, get a room.
I did it too. That's all.
Gosh,
I picked Southern first.
like anytime. Listen,
Is it too late to go back to the national day?
listen. It's. Hey, who's gonna win the Browns or Steelers games? Akron Hoban. Akron Hoban's gonna win. They've only given up 24 points.
Hey, a couple years ago, Hogan would have beat the
Get
Browns.
a room already. Golly. All right.
We still got to go to Anthony.
This is all Ty's fault. Quinn said
It
it's
is Ty's
stubborn.
fault.
It is.
It
is.
He wasn't loyal to the squad.
Ty just went fishing. He knew what he was
There was
getting
no
with
loyalty to YSN right there.
Ty's one of the
He
smartest guys on this
had
entire
the best bait any fisher could ever have.
Yep.
Yeah. Ty deflected real good on that one. Pick somebody else, but watch. I'm gonna get Quinn in trouble.
Yep.
I'm gonna get Quinn in trouble.
Ty's sitting there
Always.
Hey man, I told you I'm gonna be able to. It's all petitioning. We're trying to get Massillon, Washington on that brick wall. We're gonna have to do it. I don't know. Gotta go outside the box somehow.
Quinn's got one job now, and that's to go get Akron Hoban. Because that's, other than that, like, we're gonna end every show from now on with Quinn, is Akron Hoban a YSN school? That's how we're gonna end. Great.
What if I come back tomorrow and they are?
Get them on board. Let's go.
Wait,
Oh,
Sesame
gee.
Burger is back at Birdfish
EB.
today? They were a Thursday last time.
Today's Wednesday.
I thought it was.
I thought it was
Wasn't
Wednesday,
that
Thursday. They're
No,
open.
it had to be Thursday because I remember you bragging about it on our Friday show last week.
If it's
Yeah, I thought
Thursday,
they were
that
only
might have
open
to
on
be
Wednesday,
another trip
Thursday,
down
but-
to Birdfish.
Man, that sounds real good.
Watch
Right now.
the Jags and the Dolphins. Greatest Thursday night game ever.
Let's get to Anthony before we completely get derailed. Anthony, what do we got?
Let me bring it back to the YSN wall and say a team that I'm really shocked that no one has said yet. It's Canfield. They've given up 41 points in 4 games. It's 10 points a game. And they've shut out Howland. They let Dover only score 10, and they held Notre Dame to 7. So their only defensive little bit of lapse was who was it? New Philly, and that was kind of garbage time touchdown. They had a 31-7 lead or whatever it was. So that defense is legit. Chris Tamarone is one of the best linebackers you can ever have, and I'm rocking the Canfield.
I respect
Quinn doesn't
that.
like Canfield.
Quinn just went.
What was that,
He says
man?
that.
No.
He says that
we said
when,
Right,
he,
aggressively sips on his Coke.
when he picked Canfield as the most impressive team. You saw his smile from ear to ear. He was so happy.
He's like,
I'm talking about
I gotta do
Canfield
it.
the other day.
Canfield.
I'm happy. I
He's
made
drawing
DJ happy.
logos
That's
of
all that
Akron
matters.
Hoban right now, just to make himself feel better.
It's just an H in the design of a football. It's okay.
What
He's
is
trying
this?
to combine
Akron.
Akron.
No idea what that means.
Akron's triple F's hop.
Incomprehensible.
There was only 2 X's on that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was
There was only 2.
Akron School for the Blind could shut out Howland.
Oh, wow. We're going to leave that alone. Come on, Britt.
Woo!
Like, we're in enough trouble already because we're saying defenses from Akron and Massillon over our defenses of our 50 schools. So that'll go well.
I said Southern.
Yeah, and I think
Hey, controversy creates
chaos.
No.
Sometimes.
That is going to do it for the biggest part of our show. We are on. We will end the show how we always end the show for the last 3 months. So things are rolling here, guys. It is going to be our G. Berwick Farms What's Your Beef, brought to you by G. Berwick Farms and gberwickfarms.com. If you have a chance and you want something great on your grill this weekend, go out to G. Berwick Farms. Tell Greg that YSN sent you. All right, guys, what is your beef? Anthony, it's been a minute since. Why don't we just go with you?
I'm going to go with people that
COVID test
they can't handle other people trying to help them grow along their process, because we're all good at things, we're all bad at things, and when you have people in your circle that can see what you're struggling with and point it out, and the people that can't accept that or can't follow that, that's just it's gonna hamper your growth. So that's my beef with people that can't accept constructive criticism and can't accept people trying to help them along in their journey.
Ty Bartell.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going off of what you're saying. People that are complaining about a $9.99 price tag from YSN, where some of that money is going to the schools, but then when OSHA is going to happily open up these floodgates, they're going to happily give all their money to go to these games and make that company, that whole organization, nonprofit organization, a little bit richer.
All right, who feels out of the top 6 here? Who feels who's got the biggest close right now? Who's the Uraldus Chapman throwing heat today? Anybody? Anybody got cheese? Billy's got something. Has to.
No, he doesn't.
He's got that face. No?
No.
No. All right, then we'll just go in order. Muncie, go ahead.
He's relaxing. Mine is and this was something I was talking to guys about in our pre-show, is kids and being responsible with stuff. Like, you're responsible to do something, do it. You shouldn't have to be tracked down to be responsible for things. And I mean, it's just their immaturity and just being young that they're doing it. But like, if you're responsible to do something, do it. Get it done. Like, well, I shouldn't have to go track you down to find out what computer you had and if you turned it in or not. Like, to check in every single day. You take it out, you bring it back.
I thought it was a YSN thing for a minute. I'm sitting there like, who didn't do something? All right. McNuggies, what do you got? Sorry, Paul.
I don't know. I'd probably go with traffic in the school parking lot after school, especially when I'm at my car ready to go and my brother is just he's not being compliant, and then I'm stuck in traffic for like 10 minutes in the school parking lot just because he didn't want to get in the car. Be a little booger.
What problems to have?
Yeah, I know.
I really don't have too many.
But
problems.
I get them. Trust me, I get them because the girls don't want to get in the car after preschool, and I don't understand it. I'm trying to go places and get back to work. I'm with you, Ty, or I'm with you, Michael. On to Jamie.
I guess I'll go back to Swicka's comment at the beginning. He was hating on the Iowa State quarter zip. I got thousands of college clothes going on over here, man. I got Western Florida, Northwestern, Bowling Green, Western Michigan. I just got a bunch of random schools I like wearing. So don't hate Swicka.
Well, I mean, I think that he was still a little, I don't know. He probably thought about that Louisiana loss.
He's probably still mad Vandy's not playing this weekend, right?
He's a Texas fan anyway.
He's an everybody fan.
They're not back.
Wake? Isn't it Wake? Wake Forest, not Vandy?
Wake Forest.
And they're not playing. Weren't they?
Wake Forest. What an opponent for Clemson to open up their season against.
We're not.
Just lost 10 State.
Talking college football. Mac, save us.
I'm struggling here finding what's your beef today because my shirt finally came in.
Hey!
So that was going to be my beef today because as soon as I was rolling around here today, I said, where the hell is my damn shirt? And there it was sitting out there. So No beef today. I mean, just a small beef. Eric always has these great ideas when I got a whole day full of stuff to do. Like let's go to Birdfish. Do always on a Wednesday when I got to do stuff. So that would be my little minor beef.
I'm gonna say that Sespe Burger is gonna be in my belly tomorrow night. Just throwing it out there.
I think he said it was tonight too.
It's tonight and tomorrow is what he said.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to go out to Columbiana and ingest a burger, the best burger they'll ever have, come on down. YSN's paying for YSN employees. Quinn, go ahead.
Yeah, my beef is with people that don't use the turn signal or they put it on right before they make a turn. I don't like the ones that do that and proceed to hold up traffic either. There's a special place in hell for all you people that do that. So, yeah, use your turn signal properly, please.
Special place in hell.
The next time I'm in front of you driving, I'm going to use the wrong turn signal and turn the opposite way.
Just put it on before you decide to turn.
Goodness gracious. Not much to beef about today. Everything going well. We've got some great things going on here at YSN that we're looking to turn the page on. One of those announcements will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, next week, that we think everybody's going to enjoy. It's going to be a nice little surprise, and we want to thank some of our fine sponsors for stepping up to the plate on this. We're all working together and having a great conversation with a guy today about COVID and understanding that businesses, if they're not making adjustments during this COVID situation, and yes, we're still in a COVID situation, that they're not really trying. And we are. And I don't have to explain that because we have been and we will continue to. And we will continue to pivot and try to make the best opportunities for not only our schools, our student athletes, as well as our fans, and of course ourselves. So, but we always are putting ourselves on the back burner for the first three. So I will tell you this is going to be, if we can make this happen, it's going to be an exciting change for everybody, and I think everybody is going to be happy about it. So that is my beef is we can't do it this week because we want to make sure we do it right and we roll it out the right way. So if you're out there and you're beefing and you're hitting on these different businesses because they didn't do this or they didn't do that or your shipping's late, sorry, Billy, not to point you out. Just take a breather, right? Just take a breather because they're doing everything they can. Sometimes the stuff doesn't come in, or obviously technology being what technology is, sometimes it's not that person or that company's fault. So take that for what it's worth. Any last thoughts on today's YSN Power Hour, gentlemen?
Indians clinched, going to the playoffs. Probably going to lose the first round though.
That'll do it. We'll tune in tomorrow, 3 to 4. We'll have our NFL picks and much more right here on the YSN Power Hour. See you tomorrow, everybody.
Yankees stink.